Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing another video. Just went on one of my lawn walks for an hour or two. Um, been doing a lot of walking lately. Been doing a lot of stuff basically. Kind of living like starting to live like it was 2018 or 2019 again. Actually, just got to get some stuff in order with regards to other things, if you know what I mean. So this video is about something I was thinking about when I was walking today, as far as a lot of the response to a certain thing that I will use code words for because of YouTube's policies about this. I notice a lot of people on YouTube are starting to say a lot more stuff, and they're getting away with some of these videos aren't being removed. But I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna tempt them to do anything with regards to pulling down anything. So this is kind of an epiphany that I had about the current crisis with the CV. I've done enough videos on here to have a whole channel committed to this one subject, and I'm just getting a little burnout on it, of course. But I always say that every few months, and I still do videos about it, so who knows how long it'll last. Time will tell, I guess. But I think what happens is there are these clusters of people that don't have anything happen to them, and they don't know a lot of people that have had what, because I think there's some natural, the I word going on, innate, that word, innate, the I word that was every so often the media will stop talking about that I word, and then they'll mention it again, depending on the probably the political winds. Early spring I saw the NI word, N natural IMM word used a lot, and then it went down, then went back. It goes back and forth every month seemingly. They'll come out and say, "Oh my God, these people were already had the CV. They had all this." And then there will be another study that comes out, contradicts it. It was an old manager in my work said this, like, "Oh, it's like one study says this, one study that says that." It's pretty crazy stuff. But that's the whole chaotic nature of this whole thing. So it's not normal that huge swaths of people will have nothing happen to anybody that they know or know that well, while another group of people will, "Oh, I have two friends that died, blah, blah, blah." I mean, obviously we can go into the high risk groups. They probably know this person that's this age or this BMI or whatever. Nevertheless, this is the root cause of all this division, is that, in a certain way, I believe, is that your typical conservative, like the liberal trope, is that conservatives don't care about anything unless it happens to them personally. And there's, there might be some truth to that. But the whole thing with this is that I think there's enough people where very little things happen to. They clash with these people that know someone, or this group of people that knows someone or knows a few people. So the confusion is real, not to mention our horrible public health apparatus, which is exposing the cracks of incompetency and monetary influence that it has. So this is my whole point with this video, is I'm talking about this whole thing because I think they missed this opportunity to see what exactly causes people to only have mild or asymptomatic cases pre-Action Jackson. We're not talking about this. And I don't know, it was actually a relative that brought this up. It's like, why can't they test people to know who's going to have a bad outcome or not? Because there's whole families that have had, "Oh yeah, we were a little sick for a while," and even some people in my family, like, "Oh, it was like the flu," And then you hear about, then I know this guy. So same with actually getting symptoms, because I know people that have not had the not had the shot, the jabba dabba do, and they've been out even without a mask and stuff, all over the place, never sick. And then there's someone I know that said, I've just been out inside the whole time with me and my family. We only go to the grocery store and I've been sick twice. I'm like, are you sure? So the believability of this, it's like, it strains credulity when you hear these stories, but it's like, this doesn't make sense. And I think there's this X factor that we're not talking about with this. And it warrants further study because this is part of the division. It's like, man, I've been living my normal life, for almost 2 years. Nobody I know died. Nobody I know got sick. Then, people that said, oh, 2 of my friends died. One of them was 80 years old. But yeah, I'm just saying. But, it's like this whole thing could be settled because there is something that's preventing certain people, even people that, I'm hearing about 90-year-olds and obese people that are fine. That's a little more rare, obviously, but it's like there's some other factor that we haven't looked at with this whole thing. And, I think a lot of people, if they figured this out, it would be very important information to know about. They talk about blood type. Back in last year, they talked about blood type. They talked about all this stuff. But why can't we do this research? I think money has to do with that. But, obviously they want their money for the thing, but they're, record profits the last, year and a half. But, and even companies that didn't really generate that much of a profit are now extremely profitable. Gosh, I wonder why they haven't done a study of what makes people naturally what, or innately what. So that's just a thought. I think philosophically, this is a very important underpinning of why a lot of people are skeptical, is because their group of people, their circle of people, hasn't had the bad outcomes. And then you have another circle of people that had bad outcomes, and they meet, and it's like they don't know what to believe, because there's people that are just fine, and probably the majority of people are just fine to a certain extent, but there's enough that it makes it really confusing to look at this in a concrete way, that we can not have these these arguments and these all these discussions that are just getting really bad. So just some thoughts. If there's probably a certain amount of people that can just go out there and they're fine regardless. I mean, they might be asymptomatic or mildly symptomatic or whatever. Not to mention early, all these disputed studies that could say some people, if you've been previously infected versus this, like I said, January of 2020, I had this really weird flu and I don't know what it was. A lot of people are in that boat. They're saying that, like, I don't know if it was a bad flu season or it was just, this weird flu I had. I was sick for like 2 weeks. But I did go to work, and the person that I was talking about, who says he's infected twice, wouldn't he have gotten from me? Maybe not. I don't know. It was right around the corner. It was right around the corner from me. So I don't know. It's just so confusing. And that's probably why people are so up at arms, because there's nothing concrete with a lot of this stuff. And I dare to say, maybe 5-10 years from now, we'll know a lot more of what happened. And I'm not saying there's like a cover up or anything. I'm just saying the science isn't settled on any of this stuff. And that's just pretty obvious when they came out and said, you have to wear masks again. It's like, or you have to get your 20th booster shot. It's like, the science isn't settled, so nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. In a way, it makes me a little bit more compassionate about people that are just going along with some of the stuff, because they're confused as anybody. It's like, I'll go I know people that go out, been going out since the beginning. Like I said, restaurants, bars, wherever. Some people that don't even have the shot, and they've been fine so far. And there's other people, like I said, you hear about these people that have been triple masks, going to the grocery store, and that's it, and living in their home, being home all the time. And it's like, something doesn't add up. And that's what this video is about. Something doesn't add up with this. And I wish that I'm going to call it the X Factor, like the Iron Maiden album that everybody hates. No, actually, it has a cult following now, but yeah. This X Factor regarding the virus. It's like this weird factor that makes certain people, maybe it's vitamin D, maybe it's this or that. I take a shit ton of vitamin D every day because, I know that the Action Jackson movie kind of wears off after a couple months, especially the one I took, the verboten one, that the Big Johnson's liquor in the front, poker in the rear t-shirt one. It's using more code words. It's usually, there used to be these shirts called Big Johnson shirts, and they were like these raunchy, puns on the shirt, and that's why I'm referring to that. I took the Big Johnson, poker in the front, liquor in the front, poker in the rear shot. That's what I took. So I'm supposed to have the boost, the Wi-Fi boost, right? Like I said, I'm not going to do it because I want them to improve the Action Jackson movie before I consider taking or watching it again. Maybe people say, "Oh, you're such a terrible person," and then I'm not even sure if that the worst outcomes thing, it still applies to the waning I word. Does it? I'm confused. I guess I'm gonna have to watch Zubin Damania's video interview with Paul Offit, because I think that would be, because I don't know. Then there's all these numbers that they throw out there. It's just like, it's right. People are right to be confused and right to say, let's go Brandon, because nothing makes sense. And then what I'm talking about in this video is one of the most important things of all. Because if it weren't for this weird dynamic, oh shit, I had a little, I have allergies, by the way. I've had allergies for months, actually. So, anyways, this weird dichotomy between these groups of people that are asymptomatic or very low incidence of symptoms versus this these weird pockets of people in these areas and these families or these social circles. It's like, oh God, he died, It's just so weird. And it's not all obesity. That's the thing. It's not all obesity or melanin or whatever, or vitamin D or whatever the hell. It's not all that. There's just there's something missing. I think it would be great to find out what the hell it is, So, but yeah, I think they will know what it is eventually, and they'll let us know, the authorities, maybe scientists, not that scientist, but people that we will know eventually what the hell is going on with some of this stuff. So I don't mean what they're planning, but who knows about that. But I'm going to do more videos about that. So anyways, that's about all.